Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. Thanks to one and all for joining us today over here on Tropical Discovery. And today's video, we are going to be talking about two things in specific. One is going to be about the red plants that we have in our aquarium. And the second is I'm going to be sharing an amazing life hack with you guys for a free of cost CO2 reactor that any of you can have in your aquarium if you're using a CO2 system. So stay tuned and I'm going to take you through both of these one by one. So first of all, let me take you through the aquarium and the plants that we have over here. So on top over here and this corner, we have a lot of Pinnathophyta, which has turned pinkish in color, which is absolutely gorgeous. At the background, we have over there the Rotala, the Ludwigia Super Red, and a mix of them. And at the foreground, we have the Helferi over here. And I have one, the AR Mini over here, which is planted. I'm not sure if this is the AR Mini. It can also be the other one, the other version of the AR. And we have some moss over here and on the left side as well, and the hydrococtile that was planted on the left over here, which is right now growing out of the tank and looks absolutely beautiful. So that's with all the plants that we have over here. In the beginning, as I told you, we had some issues with some white fungus which was growing on the wood. But eventually over time, since I have been keeping up with my maintenance, it has almost vanished from the tank. And for the maintenance, I've been doing 50% water change twice every week. So let me just give you guys a real nice close-up on all of these plants over here. So there's the Ludwigia Super Red, the Rotala HRA. This is the Pinnathophyta over here. As you can see, this pinkish orange color, which is really beautiful. And this is a hydrococtile. As you see, there's one branch that is shooting over there across the tank, which is really nice. It's growing out on this side as well as over here on the back. And here's the moss that we have. So this is the moss on this side and over here as well. And this is the Helferi that we had planted in the foreground, and it's also started to give out side shoots of new plants. And the Yamini is absolutely doing great. These are the new leaves that have come out, which are completely algae free. Those are some of the old leaves that don't look that great in shape. So guys, now coming to the main topic on how I'm able to achieve this in my tank and how the plants are looking so beautiful. I did try a lot of planted tanks before, and mostly I was always failing because of algae issues. And finally I found out, that the most common reason why we have this algae issues is because of the sudden change in pH in the water, which happens because of the CO2 going on and off in your aquarium. And I did a lot of research about, if we can have like 24/7 CO2. I was getting all sorts of vague answers here and there, but then finally I said, let's just get all the fish out of the aquarium, try it for myself, then probably add 1 or 2 fish and see if the 24/7 CO2 will actually work. So right now on this aquarium, which is right in front of you, we have the CO2 running 24/7. I don't have any timer on it. The CO2 runs continuously, and as you can see, the fish are completely unharmed. There's nothing wrong over here. So I'm going to show you now how the CO2, how I'm using the free CO2 reactor over here with the CO2 system that I have. So as you guys can see, we have placed our CO2 diffuser right below the filter inlet. And what this does for me is it sucks in all these CO2 bubbles inside the filter. As you can see over here, it's all going inside the filter. And then this CO2 bubbles will end up in the filter. It will get mixed up really well with the aquarium water. And then we have all the fresh water coming out over here, which is highly concentrated with the CO2, and it supplies all the plants that I have in the aquarium. That's how I've been able to maintain a steady amount of CO2 in the aquarium, and the plants have been doing really well. So I hope that you guys can also try this with your filters. If you have a hang-on back filter as well, that's fine. You can just leave it. I think you can leave your CO2 diffuser right below the inlet and it will work the same. Unless you have some filters that, like a sponge filter, you won't be able to do this. I don't think you can do it with a sponge filter. But if you have a hang-on back filter or a canister filter like this that has an inlet in your aquarium, you can just place your CO2 diffuser below it and it will take it through your filter, mix it up with all the aquarium water and give you some good amounts of CO2 in your tank. That way none of the CO2 is going to be wasted out and the plants will do really well. So So the CO2 over here is running 24/7. I have it at 1 bubble per second, not more than that. I think more than that, then during the night when the plants stop doing the photosynthesis and give out CO2, the CO2 amount will get a little high in the aquarium. So that's why I have it only at 1 bubble per second. It's doing absolutely fine. So hope this trick will help you guys. Try it out. Let me know how it works for you. Hope it saves you some money of buying a CO2 reactor or an inline diffuser. And I would love to see how your plants turn out. So guys, the second most important thing on the aquarium is the lights, and the aquarium lights are a very important factor in getting beautiful plants like these. So when I first got this light, which is the L600 Pro Weak Aqua, I thought, keeping it at 100% capacity is going to make sure that I have some beautiful plants in the tank. But that is not the case. So when you have high power lights like these, make sure you reduce the intensity a little bit. Just imagine being at the beach, where the sun is scorching hot, you're going to burn yourself. The same with the plants. So we don't want the light to be so intense that the plants start burning and start dying off. And definitely if you have a high intensity light, you're going to have a lot of algae issues also. So we need to make sure that we have it at a low power as well. So this lights that I have over here, I have it at 65% intensity. That's the maximum power I'm using it at. I don't want to increase anymore because the plants are doing absolutely fine at 65. And I'm using it at the standard, the one that we have in the Weak Aqua app. It's on the red mode. So that's the mode that I'm using over here. I'm not using any custom settings at all, just the power at 65%. So try it out, and I think you will have these beautiful colors in your tank as well. So that's with the light. Moving on to the second most important thing is to have a skimmer in your tank. So as you see, I have a skimmer over here. What the skimmer does is it avoids having a chemical surface on the top of your aquarium. So many of you who are using CO2 will eventually, sometimes you will see there's this chemical surface that appears on top. And the skimmer does such a great job. It will take away the entire chemical surface, make sure that your top of your aquarium is crystal clear, just like your water below in the tank. And it's really important because what happens is when you have this chemical surface on top, not only does it make it difficult for gas exchange in the water and the atmosphere, but it will also create this thin layer which will block some of the light and reduce the intensity furthermore from reaching the plants below. As you see, the plants that I have below over here also have this beautiful red colors, and they're doing absolutely fine. So having a clean water surface like this is absolutely essential, and having a skimmer is a really good accessory to have in the tank. So you guys can now go save the money on the reactor, but make sure you go buy a skimmer for your tank. So that's all for today's video, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I hope that you will find these tips informative and helpful for your aquarium, and hopefully you will have some beautiful plants that will be popping out in your aquarium as well. And a big shout out over here to my friends from the Abu Dhabi Aquarius group on WhatsApp, who have always been guiding me and providing me with some really amazing tips to maintain my aquarium. And all this information that I have is through research and through friends who keep sharing articles to read, and I love reading about it and I learn from it, and that's why I like to make these videos, to share the same information with you, so even you can find this useful and probably have beautiful aquariums like these at your home. So if you enjoyed watching this video, please make sure you hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, please leave us a sub. It will immensely help us and keep us motivated in doing more such videos. Thank you, and see you until next time.